The one that you see here on the box is a post-war edition, like the post-war variant. The 1/48 scale Supermarine Spitfire TR9. Hello, I am Kobey from Hearns Hobbies, and today we are looking at the 1/48 scale Supermarine Spitfire TR9, the trainer version of the Mark 8, Mark 9 Spitfire. Yes, here it is, 1/48 scale with the Irish Air Corps scheme pictured on the front. You get two schemes in the box, as you can see here. Now, this aircraft was predominantly a post-war aircraft, with the exception of the Soviets. They converted the Mark 9s and Mark 8s into trainers in the field, and then post-war they started to develop these aircraft for training purposes. So the one that you see here on the box is a post-war edition, like a post-war variant of the Spitfire, and same as the Battle of Britain scheme that you get in this kit. So let's break the seal and have a look in this new kit. I have had a little bit of a peek at one of these before, and I'm very impressed. It is a very, very impressive aircraft. Airfix seem to do a lot of Spitfires, I know. We've seen them all before, but this one, I think they're going in another direction, which is pretty cool. So, typical decal scheme, British and Irish Air Corps, so you're getting two, and you have your stencil data up here. Nice cockpit decals. I'll zoom in for a little bit of the details just here. As you can see, really, really nice register on those there. Very, very nice Irish colours there, which is great. And then we have the Battle of Britain version here that they use for a filming plane, I believe. But yes, it was painted up in Battle of Britain Mark 1 colours. So let's have a look into the instructions. See how we go. Little bit of history here. There we go. Conversion done to a Mark 5. I mean, that says a Mark 8 there, but Mark 5, I believe, was also converted earlier in the war. Yes, Vickers created the first official twin-seat Spitfire. And there we go. The war had ended, and the airframes were to be scrapped, but there we go. The TR9 was created. The Netherlands, India, Irish Air Corps, Egypt, they all used these Spitfire airframes. So let's open up and have a look through the instructions. Very, very nice Airfix instructions, easy to follow along. Only a few parts at a time. Working our way this way, we're going through all of the cockpit compartment, the cockpit floor, showing you what to paint where, giving you all of the colours in Humbrol. Yay! You'll have to transfer them over into Tamiya, and then we're going into the cockpit sidewalls, putting all these parts in, the oxygen tanks, control stick, the seats, everything there, instrument panels, all being put in. You've got two pilot figures that you can choose to put in or not, and then you can also adjust the arms of the forward pilot to be holding on to the throttle and the control. And then we've also got a jig for your canopies. If you're choosing to do, why are we using a jig? Use a jig and do not glue. I believe it's for something to do with the with this down here for the canopy. But yeah, there you go. I'm not sure. Use a jig and do not glue. That's it. Use a jig and do not glue for the cockpit door. That makes sense. Alright, let's move on, because I'm sick of my confusion. There you go, there's the oxygen bottles there, going into the fuselage, plugging it all together, putting the two fuselage halves together, putting the top of the engine cowling on, and then we've also got the tail of the aircraft going together. We've got the cooling areas down here underneath the wings, very iconic shapes, the two boxes underneath. And then we've got the tops of the wings going on, so now you have a pretty complete model, as you can see. Getting there, you're putting the ailerons on, tail wheel. You can put it wheels up, like here, as it shows over here. You can also do wheels down, either, depending how you want to position the aircraft. Exhaust stacks being put on, they look like 2-part molded, so there might be a little bit more detail in there than a usual exhaust stack. Putting those in, putting the prop together, all of the canopies are going on. You can position it with open canopies or closed canopies, and your build is complete. Now we are looking over at the paint scheme. So we have the British Air Corps. This was a test aircraft, like a trainer aircraft, and they also practiced shooting in these aircraft, I believe. So they had the 303s on the outer edges of the wings, still accessible and still ready to be used for training purposes. This aircraft was great, and they've also given you a little jig here if you wanted to mask up the wings on the underside. So I believe it is 10.5 millimeters of spacing in between all of the in between the bars of the Irish flag. And then we have the Battle of Britain aircraft here. So we've got another research note. I just had a look at the clipper before. For filming purposes, the code letters appeared to be painted in a paler shade of grey, possibly to show up on film more. Roundels appear to have been painted in the post-war bright shades, perhaps for the same reasons. Aircraft were weathered using paint to show chipping and exhaust streaks. That is correct. These aircraft, they were repainted for the film, so they were in the early war scheme, but noting that they had the later war colours for the roundels here, here, and on the bottom, I believe. Bottom, maybe the blue was different. And then they painted on the exhaust weathering. They did all of the chipping with metallic silver chips. So it wasn't actually chipped into the paint. Very, very interesting. Cinema effect. Very, very great film. So that is that one there. Now let's have a look into the plastic components. Enough of dilly-daddling through the instructions. All well and good seeing how we're going to build it. But let's see how we're actually going to build it. I'm going to get my cutting mat again. Yes, I think they need a new machine to cut the to press heat shrink. All right. So the kit I had a look at, I was just blown away by the rivet detail that they're now providing on their kits. So we have the glass here, which is a very, very clear glass. Won't open the bag just so that it's not exposed. But yeah, the transparents, they're great. There's no issues with that whatsoever. Beautiful register looking through at my finger. I can just make out my fingerprints. Yes, fingerprints. Now let's have a look at this. This is where I was really... Look at that. What? Airfix? I was not... No. No way. No way. If it fits as well as it's detailed, it's going to fall together. This is typical of Edward moulding, with these really, really fine, strategically placed rivets. Also on the tops of the wings as well. More like this, please, Edward. More like this, please, Airfix. If they're going to bring this level of quality to all their models from now on, I think their models are going to be pretty sought after. They're going to be on a lot of people's benches. There we go. That's just inner framing for the. Haha, that's pretty cool. That's pretty funny. Oh no, what have I done? They've got the engine cowling just like separated, like it's just in the middle. Now I believe that is so that they could probably mold some of these details on the side. Let's see what I can see in here. Yeah, I think it was so they could get some of these rivets on the side of the engine cowling, as you can see there in the white light. The prop, very, very nice molding of the prop. And the hub over here, you've got your wheels, 2-part molding, 1 part, but you've got weighted and unweighted wheels and also probably, there you go, tractor style rubber wheels with the different tread on them. 2 different types of hubs as well for your wheels, depending which ones you're going to be using. And landing gear doors, even those have rivets on them. Alright, over here we've got Winnie and Jerry. There you go. Ready to be put in the model. Ready to be built. Jig! Port and starboard. There you go. For your doors here. These ones. You can paint the... What are they? Crowbars red. They painted them red after the war, I'm pretty sure. There's a lot of debate online about what colour they were. I believe they're probably just black or something. Here we go. Ailerons. Even those are riveted. Needed a little bit of a fact check on that. Were they riveted, or were they aluminium, or were they canvas? I'm not sure at that point of the war. I know the tail definitely is, as you can see there. Both of them. Wonderful. Wonderful. Got one of the seats here. Nice, where am I? Nice detail on the cloth and a divot in the bottom of the seat, probably for the pilot. And then here we have the fuselage. Once again, you're going to have a beautiful rivet detail on that fuselage there. Just splendid. So the jig, I believe, is to potentially cut out these. If you are wanting to use them open, you'll have to cut out the ones that are already in there. I've got some braces over here for the for the wings, and then the inner portions of the cockpit. This is, yeah, Edward did it like this as well. They're obviously taking notes. Beautiful instrument panel face there. Look at that. Wonderful. Front and rear to that part there. How good is that? They've really outdone themselves on this TR9. I'm hoping to see a lot more Airfix kits like this. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised when I first opened this up. I couldn't believe it. I was like, who is tricking me? Who's put an Edward kit in an Airfix box? But no, it's Airfix plastic, and it was sealed. So there's no denying it. The detail on these kits is really coming along a long way, and I'm excited to see what else comes next. I'm going to just say, Airfix, please bring back the TSR1, I believe it is. Anything early British jets, please. They're really cool. If you're doing them in this level of detail, they'll be a hit. TSR2, TSR1, there you go. Well, let me put this one all back together, and then we'll finish off the review. I've got the clear parts there, decals and the instructions are in, and that is that. There you have it. That has been the fantastic Supermarine Spitfire Tr.9 by Airfix in 1/48 scale, the new kit. I hope you have enjoyed this review. I hope you've learned something, had as much fun as I have, and we will see you in the next video. Cheers guys, look forward to it. Have a great day.